$273 for 2025. This is federal money that is still available right now that comes to the borough through the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. Funding is to be used to benefit low and moderate income areas of the community or lower moderate income individuals. Conshohocken does not have one area which is predominantly low moderate income, so we are limited in what we can do with the money in terms of individuals that meet income guidelines or who are presumed to be low moderate income, and that can include older adults and people with disabilities. Eligible uses for the funds are water and sewer replacement lines, construction of affordable housing, housing rehabilitation, reconstruction or construction of public community facilities, public services that are new or that are a significant increase over what is currently being provided, street improvements or the removal of architectural barriers, and economic development. Should the borough do a project that results in displacement from construction, the borough would be responsible for it. This is, I'm sorry about this, but this is something that has to be said at one of these hearings. Will be responsible for replacing any affordable units that were destroyed as a part of a CDBG funded construction project. We would be responsible for assisting the people displaced. We would have to replace units one for one. They would have to be of the same size. We'd have to be able to house the same number of people that were displaced. And the housing would have to remain affordable for a period of 10 years. The borough has never done a project like this, except maybe way back when in the 60s, in the 70s and early 80s when they were doing major redevelopment. Purpose of this meeting is to ask you to discuss what you think the needs of the Conshohocken community are, how you think we should spend the $149,000, or if you have any questions regarding how CDBG funds have been used in the past, questions, comments, complaints, anything like that. The borough has predominantly used its money from CDBG for housing rehabilitation. However, we have also in recent years used money to install code-conforming curb ramps at intersections and at across alleyways. Housing rehabilitation, it has slowed down in the past year since COVID. We are doing fewer houses, but the houses we're doing are in much worse shape. Our average cost over the past, we've done 5 houses in the last 12 months. And in 2024 and 25, our average cost has been $37,783. And over the past 5 years, it's been $55,716. So houses are in better shape. I know we have kept some people from having their houses condemned. You have to be a resident of the borough. You have to be low moderate income, which means your household income cannot exceed 80% of the area median income, and we look at that very carefully because the state looks at that very carefully. In terms of curb ramps, we've used in the past year 2023 CDBG money, and we've done 8 curb ramps, 1 intersection and across a number of 2 or 3 different alleyways. And we still have money left, so we are proposing to do an additional 4 curb ramps, and the CDBG money should pay for the curb ramps and the engineering to do them. And their location is tentatively listed as Sutcliffe Lane. So the Sutcliffe Lane one-way street, the entranceway, we do 2 ramps there and do 2 ramps on the exit side so that these can connect with the sidewalks there. At some point may connect with the sidewalk and the trails in the park. So if you have any comments, questions, I would be happy to listen to them and answer any questions you might have or council might have.
Chris, how do you determine which alleyways that intersect?
I'm trying to think, 2 or 3 years ago, I don't know how many years ago it was, I tried to look at every street and alleyway in the borough and take pictures of the ones that did not have curb ramps, because we've used money to do curb ramps for a number of years, and they're cracking down on how we do them and where we do them. One of the nice things about Conshohocken is that being 1 square mile, everything is so close that you need accessible routes to get almost everywhere. So that, keeps us from having to justify why we do them over certain areas. I did a quick look at, since we had done 8 and we were running out of the old pictures were kind of old and we didn't know what was being done in other projects, because other projects, street projects, generally have to put in the curb ramps. So I looked to see where there was, and I know for several years there has been discussion of people who wanted the ramps on Sutcliffe Lane. So that was the selection there. To do more, I'll probably have to go out and look at what's left and take pictures of it and then decide. We can decide. I show them to Ray. He looks at what's possible, what's not possible. He doesn't throw out all of them, but he says some of these, no, this is going to take too much to do. There won't be enough money. So he's very good at helping to decide which are the most viable ones and which ones will make the most sense. Anything else? Other comments, questions? Okay. We will accept written comments on what you think the issues, community service needs are in Conshohocken, community needs in terms of the development projects. And any comments or questions that you might have, written comments will be accepted until September the 2nd, and they can be addressed to me at Borough Hall, 400 Fayette Street, Suite 200, or email cstetler@conshohockenpa.gov. The timetable for this is there will be a second hearing on September the 17th at 7 o'clock, again, prior to a Borough Council meeting. And that purpose will be discuss how we propose to use the 2025 funds and request comments on whether you think it's a good idea, a bad idea. And we will accept written comments until the 29th of September. Council will be asked to authorize the submission of an application to the state in October, and the application for deadlines is October the 31st. So happy Halloween. So if you have any other questions or comments, please let me know. Okay, thank you. If anyone hasn't signed in, please do so. These have to go with the application.
Yes. Councilmember Chmielewski.
Present.
Councilmember Serna.
Here.
Councilmember Barton is absent. Councilmember Elam.
Here.
Councilmember Frye.
Here.
Vice President Kingsley.
Here.
President Sokolowski is absent, and Mayor Aronson.
Here.
Thank you.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next thing on the agenda is council president announcements, and there were no public comment received after the August work session. Any comments before this one? Is that still true?
Yes,
That's
that
came
is
in
true.
today? Okay. Did any council member get anything? No. Okay. So we'll move on to presentations. The Conshohocken Borough Bike Safety Public Service Announcement with Shauna and Paul. Please.
Hi, I'm Shauna Wylesol. You all probably know me. This is Paul Gornowski from our communications team. We had received, actually Ray had received a concern from a member of the public a little while back about bicycle safety and certain rules on the trail that we thought maybe people weren't totally aware of. And he had suggested that a good way to get the message out might be to make a sort of public service announcement type video. So Paul and I got to work writing a script and casting some roles. You'll see some familiar faces, and putting together a video which Paul has completely edited, sound mixed, added music to entirely in-house. And we're excited for you guys to see it. Paul's more excited than I am because he's not on camera. But anything to add?
No, I think it speaks for itself.
Yeah, so we'll, without further ado, it's the premiere. Hello, I'm Shauna Wylesol from the Borough of Conshohocken's operations team. I'm here to talk about some tips and reminders pertaining to bicycle safety, especially on the Schuylkill River Trail. These guidelines are meant to encourage the safest possible experience for all of our pedestrians, bikers, and drivers. Firstly, it is required in the state of Pennsylvania that all riders under the age of 12 wear a helmet. However, we encourage helmets for all of our cyclists, regardless of age. A helmet should fit securely on the head with enough space to slide 2 fingers between the strap and your chin. While a bike ride should be a relaxing experience, it is important to stay alert and aware of your surroundings. A good way to accomplish this is to ensure that you are able to hear when other cyclists or vehicles are approaching. Removing one earbud or lowering the volume of your device is recommended. If you are riding early in the morning or during evening hours, ensure your bike has working reflectors on both the front and rear. If you are riding in a group while on the trail, please try your best to remain single file in order to maintain traffic flow. As a reminder, just like on the road, slower traffic should remain on the right side, while all passing should be done on the left. And finally, please obey all of the posted signage along the Schuylkill River Trail. Vehicles have the right of way at all intersections, so please come to a full stop at all posted stop signs. Vehicles are not required to yield to bicycles at trail crossings. Thank you for your time and attention. We hope you enjoy your time on the Schuylkill River Trail.
And we'd just like to thank our wonderful cast, along with Shauna, Matt Trainer from the L&I team, Megan Klosterman, K9 Watson, Tim Gutting with the masterful driving across Oak Street, all from the fire department, and then Lauren Irizarry and Tom Brady from the community center for all of their help in making this happen as well.
Thank you.
And so the plan moving forward, now that you've revealed your PSA this evening, is what?
So we'll make this live tomorrow morning. It'll be on the borough's YouTube channel. We'll also post it to the borough social media channels. It'll be on Facebook, our Instagram, and our LinkedIn. So it'll be on our social media. And I might try and find an appropriate spot to put this on our website as well. But the plan for now will be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn.
Great. Thank you.
I have just a quick question that's kind of adjacent to this, and it may be answerable by you guys or someone in the room. First off, it sounded like you needed an award. You did a great job up there, like awesome job. Electric bikes. So we tend to see more of these on the road than prior, and the age seems to be younger and younger. Legalities around these and expectations for people in the borough, because they're not going to be going away. I see them zipping up and down my alley. So I don't know if you guys have looked. I think there was a post, actually, I believe, that we made on that on the website. But just to clarify again, can we go kind of review that?
I know that Chief Lennon had made a posting on the police department's Facebook page, so he can speak to that. I also know that the regulations have just become more stringent, or possibly the punishment for breaking those regulations. So he can probably answer that.
Yeah, I don't want to put you on the spot, Dave, but I was just saying, it just brought up.
The state has enacted laws regarding the usage of e-bikes and electric scooters within the Commonwealth. I would refer you to our Facebook post. The complete listings of the law are on there. And actually, most recently, the county has contacted us. As we're talking about trail safety, the county has contacted us also asking about trail safety, and the county commissioners have recently raised the fine for e-bike violations on the Schuylkill River Trail. So we're having conversations with them about the same thing that you're seeing here tonight.
Yeah, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so complete listing of those laws. It's a Pennsylvania micro-mobility chart. It's on our Facebook page.
Thanks, Dave.
When you were out there, did you observed people just blowing through the stop sign?
Absolutely. Almost the entire time that I was standing there. So I think this will help people to realize that that stop sign is meant for them. We researched it on the county and the state's pages, and everywhere it very clearly says that at trail crossings, the vehicle has the right of way, and I think that that is news to a lot of our cyclists. So really putting a spotlight on that should hopefully start to make that change. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Okay, the next thing on the agenda is land use matters, public hearings and ordinances. And we need to consider authorizing advertisement of an amendment to the Borough solid waste ordinance. That ordinance was discussed at the last meeting. Okay, so I'll need a motion to authorize advertisement of an amendment to the Borough solid waste ordinance.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Thank you. Next thing is the consent agenda, and items of business and matters listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine and non-controversial, and will be enacted by one motion and one vote. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If discussion is desired by council members, that item to be identified and removed from the consent agenda. Does anybody want to remove anything from the consent agenda? You all ready to vote? Okay, great. So we need to approve and adopt the July 16th regular meeting minutes and approve the July ending treasurer's report and accounts payable. So I'd like a motion to approve and adopt the July 16th regular meeting minutes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And we need a motion to approve the July ending treasurer's report and accounts payable in the amount of $1,024,312.29.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, moving on to unfinished business. Consider appointing an applicant to the Friends of Conshohocken Parks. And at our last meeting, Jennifer Briston interviewed for that. If there's no objection, I'll ask for a motion to appoint Jennifer Briston to the Friends of the Conshohocken Parks.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
The ayes have it. Okay, so now consider approving Resolution 2025-25, establishing temporary parking regulations on East First Avenue. And again, we discussed that at the last meeting. So I'd like to have a motion to approve Resolution 2025-25, establishing two 15-minute to-go temporary parking spaces on East First Avenue in the area adjacent to the old Daniels and Vigiano's restaurants.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And that temporary resolution is for 90 days, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And the next thing on the agenda is to consider approving a block party request submitted by Product Investigations for an event at 151 East 10th Avenue. And again, we did discuss that at the last meeting. So to have a motion to approve the block party request submitted by Product Investigations, Inc. for an event at 151 East 10th Avenue.
I'll make that motion.
Sorry, I was just going to ask for a reminder, or sorry, a clarification on that one. They're celebrating an anniversary, correct?
Right, it's the 50th, they've been in
50th.
50 years, and they just want to close off half of
All of
the block.
Yeah, it's
Inviting-
right down at the bottom.
And
of my
they're
store.
inviting like all the
And
public.
everyone
Yeah.
can tour the building, and it is, I want to get in that building, because it's beautiful on the outside. And the grounds are beautiful.
And speaking objectively, there's a bunch of fun people that live around there, so you all should come. So
About halfway up the block.
I kind of just
Yeah,
wanted
it's very fun.
to bring up the fact that there's a cool thing coming.
It is for, did we actually vote on this one yet? I've lost my place here.
No, we have a motion.
We have a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. So Ralph, that'll be, that's in October, is it not?
That's on my daughter's birthday.
Saturday the
actually. Yeah,
18th.
Saturday the 18th.
Okay, yeah,
believe it or not.
that one's in October.
Yeah.
From 11 to 3.
Okay, so consider approving a right-of-way encroachment agreement related to the Conshohocken Italian Bakery. Mr. Peters, this is all yours.
Sure. So this is part of our efforts to clean up the paperwork with respect to the Italian bakery property. Earlier this year, you approved a waiver of land development that allowed them to move forward with consolidating some of the parcels, and a requirement of that approval of a waiver of land development was that we straighten out the fact that there is a building that goes over a portion of the culvert that is located through that property. We have worked very hard with the bakery and also potential buyer to come up with an agreement that works for everyone, and what is before you is the result of those efforts. So what this document does, not only does it set forth the background and the history of the presence of the culvert and then also the presence of the encroachment, but it sets forth everyone's respective responsibilities, which at this time, as we sit here today, is somewhat amorphous and gray. So the encroachment, the building would be permitted to remain where it is. Ownership of the paper alley and the culvert remains with the borough, and then the culvert also, as you all know, the sewer authority has an ownership interest in the culvert as well, because the public storm sewer system here in the borough is owned by the sewer authority. So you'll note the authority is a party to this, and since I brought up the authority, I'll note that their solicitor has reviewed this document and has approved its language as well. The agreement then sets forth the maintenance of the encroachment. So this is the building that's placed over the culvert. The bakery and then their successors and assigns are agreeing to maintain that encroachment. If the culvert needs to be repaired such that the encroachment needs to be removed, the grantee, which is the bakery or its successor, would have the ability at their own expense to take steps to raise or otherwise secure that encroachment so that it could remain while work is being done to the culvert. There's notice provisions in here which aren't of terrible interest to anyone. There are insurance requirements that we obtain directly from the borough's insurance company. Those insurance requirements have been provided to both the bakery and the buyer, so they are aware of what insurance needs will be required, and there was no request to change any of that language. There are indemnifications back and forth, so the bakery is indemnifying the borough for the presence of the encroachment, and then the borough is indemnifying the bakery should we fail to properly maintain the culvert that runs through the property. And then everything else from section 10 down are just form provisions regarding the fact that it runs with the land, it's governed by Pennsylvania law, et cetera. So we have finally found in this document the solution to documenting this very odd situation, and it's now before you this evening. Although you approved my office and staff and the bakery working together to come up with this document, we wanted you to have an opportunity to review and see it and actually approve it, because it does impose obligations on the borough to maintain that culvert, obligations that the borough and the authority already have, but now they're in writing. So I can answer any questions you might have on this document.
Mike, is this pretty much the end of the paperwork for the bakery sale?
This was by far the most complicated part of it. And it's not, the only reason it's not the end is that the plans are still being finalized. But in terms of the complicated legal aspects of it, this is it. This is the end.
Good.
Knock on wood. It's the end, yeah. Because it took us a long time to get here. And there was, just so council's aware, there was a question regarding how the borough would like the property to be plotted moving into the future that the bakery posed to us, and we have answered that question. So I expect the final plans to come in very soon, and then we will be done with the whole thing.
Good. Anybody else? Questions? Okay. So I'm looking for a motion to approve the right-of-way encroachment agreement related to the Conshohocken Italian Bakery.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
You have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, so moving on to new business, we're going to conduct interviews with applicants for the redistricting task force. Would Mr. Jack Hassler from Ward 1 step forward, please? And I'm going to, hi.
Hi.
Mr. Chmielewski, would you like to interview your
Sure.
resident? Thank you. You said I don't give you enough time to talk.
I knew that was going to bite me.
Paybacks.
How's the baby?
Good,
Good.
good. Almost walking, which is terrifying. She keeps finding things we haven't secured.
Good.
you know.
I haven't talked to Jack in a while, so we're going to catch up a
Go
little
ahead.
bit. We've interviewed in the past, right? You sit on boards, you're very much qualified. I'm curious, with all of your studies, with your BA, your master's, and your PhD, which you think would be most useful to this?
So I've
project?
gotten the chance to dig into census data in the past, and it is messy and incomplete and not what you want it to be. But I've also gotten the chance to play with shape files and mapping and things like that. It would be, I won't pretend that I've served on a group quite like this in the past, but I've worked with that data before, and it'd be I think a lot of fun and a great social responsibility to take on the task of helping to shape the shape files, right. For the next set of use.
Okay. My only question.
Oh, that was a wonderful question. Okay, so this is a huge responsibility, and we need to get this right. We're looking to approve a map with 7 wards, and Ward 1 is way out of proportion to everything else. So are you prepared to just dig into this and move boundaries?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think any existing boundaries may have been made with good reason, and you want to take a look at whatever the reasoning was in the past. But just because a line was drawn in this world does not mean it should stay drawn in that precise place. I'd want to dig into, the reasoning behind the committee last time, or whichever group made those choices. But absolutely, I see no reason why a line that's currently drawn needs to stay that way.
Well, I think with Ward 1, it just so happened that that's where all the new development came in. It's not as if it was, probably at one time it was all fairly proportional, at least the last time they did it, which I have no idea when that was. Do you know when the last time was done, Steph? Did we talk about that before? Yeah.
Well, just having looked at it, it looks like they just drew 2 straight lines.
No.
No.
Do you see any challenges in,
Yes, I mean, certainly whenever you're considering moving boundaries, you're excluding someone or including someone else, and that's
Right.
going to have a big impact into the future. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can't just do a little cutout of my house outside of his district, but
well, it doesn't have to be exactly even. I mean, there's about a 10% leeway. And as of the last census, there was 9,261 on the census from 2020, and we probably have another 1,500 to 2,000 residents since then, which we will allow, in other public meetings, we talked about that there's 3 new big buildings in Ward 1, and we'll allow for those, but we can't go like, there was 3 houses in this ward, we're not going to worry about that for this census.
and I expect with all the new apartment buildings that have been going up, it probably tilts things as well.
Right,
Have to
yeah,
pay attention to that type of thing, and
Right. Anybody else have any questions?
No, I'm good.
Good.
Thank you for stepping up, thank you for stepping up to, oh, sorry, go
Yeah,
ahead.
go
Adrian.
ahead.
I was gonna say, so you've lived in the borough a little more than 2 years, or?
Yeah, so 2 years in the borough. I lived for a year in West Conshohocken before then, and then before that, my wife and I bounced around the Philadelphia and mainline area before settling out in Conshohocken.
How do you feel that sort of like perspective of being a fairly new resident, but also familiar with the area, will add to your ability to help on this task force?
Yeah, and my wife was born and raised in the Philadelphia area. I'm actually a transplant from St. Louis. But we lived for a couple of years in Philadelphia, both in the Center City area as well as in Fishtown, and just sort of seeing even the policies that wind up being different between that place, which you can walk between Fishtown
Center City. And I think that coming to Conshohocken, I mean, my wife and I adore this borough, and we plan to spend quite a bit of time here, potentially, rest of lives here. Though we might need to change houses eventually. But, I think just, the important thing about Conshohocken is it feels like a small town, but it's very walkable. You can, go out with your dog and your baby in a way that you can't necessarily do in Philadelphia, but you can still walk to the main street, see the bars, see the people. And I think that whenever we're doing redistricting, we want to try to stay true to what I view as that identity of Conshohocken.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. Anybody else? Thank you for coming in, Mr. Hyde.
Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.
All right, our next candidate is Evan Campbell from Ward 3. Hi, Evan. Thanks
Hello,
for coming
everyone.
in.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're interested in doing this.
Yeah, so I've interviewed with Borough before, but I've lived in the Borough for about 2 years now. Prior to that, I lived in Center City, Philadelphia for 2 years. Born and raised in the area. I went to St. Joe's University where I graduated in 2021. Since joining or moving to the Borough from Center City, an active participant in the Environmental Advisory Council with Adrian, and also the founder of Conshohocken Running Club, which started about a year ago, which we've been fortunate enough to grow over time. And so we've worked with Hotel West in Maine and the Farmers Market every Saturday to gain residents. So truly have tried to embrace and embody Conshohocken, meeting different folks, and then also happen to have numerous friends in the area through students that also went to St. Joe's University with me.
When you run do you run on other streets or do you stay just on the trails?
I'm sorry, can you repeat?
When you're out running, do you do the streets or just on the trails?
We actually only do the trails. That's
On
why
trail.
the biker safety video hit home for me. I can definitely concur with, I think some of the cyclists don't really view the stop sign as, hard and fast rule and kind of roll into it, but we've tried to work alongside them as well. So yeah, we run on the trail every Saturday at 9 a.m. for 3 miles.
Stop signs are more of a suggestion.
That's how
to
they
a lot
view
of
it.
people.
Yeah.
And there's also, not to get off the topic here, but there's also a speed limit on the trails, which is 15 miles an hour on the Schuylkill Trail. And I'm sure you see people fly by you as if,
Seen people hit 25.
yeah.
But
Okay, get back to the task force. Is there any particular issue that you, as somebody who lives, you're in the apartments down on the river, correct?
I live on Riverwalk, yeah, 309
right.
Washington Street.
So any particular thing that you see for your particular situation that you'd like to address?
Not relative to the task force. I think the work that we're doing with the Environmental Advisory Council is really applicative just with trash that we've noticed. I mean, we were able to pick up over 200 pounds in the last cleanup, but from a voting perspective, no. I also had a chance to dig in through 2020 census data of 9,260 residents and knowing the rule of kind of keeping that within a standard deviation of plus or minus 10%. So on average, about 1,320 residents per each ward. So I'd like to have a collaborative experience with the other representatives of the 7 wards and the 2 borough council members that'll be a part of it, and making sure that it's an equitable voting process and everyone feels heard.
Right.
So, 2 things. One, great job on the Conchi Running Club.
Thank you.
15 years ago when I moved here, I actually joined with my then girlfriend, now wife, joined what was CrossFit down,
Yeah.
this is 15 years ago, and actually made a group of friends there that some of which I still hold today. So the things like that you do, that people like yourself actually lead and have a vision for, are super underrated to create a community and actually really want people to stay here and really develop friendships through that club. So I just wanted to tell you, great job, keep doing what you're doing, because I see it. I just can't get there because it's 9 a.m. and I have this thing called kids where it's very chaotic in the mornings. You mentioned in your letter that kind of about how you, through the running club, you kind of have touch points.
I do.
All of the wards. Can you kind of delve into that a little bit about how you view the borough as a whole right now, and understanding the different sections that each of us reside in?
Absolutely, yeah. So because I'm a relatively new resident, I think most folks would would agree with that. Being here for only 2 years, I don't really truly know yet the historical piece to Conshohocken, and that's something that I'm trying to dive myself into. And so through the Run Club about a year ago, only 6 to 10 people would show up. Now it's about 40 to 50 every week, which is really exciting. And each of those runners comes from one of the 7 wards. And because of that, we've had the ability to connect with local business leaders, and so can have the ability to talk to various business owners at the farmers market, whether it's Conchi Cakes or AJ's Bread and Bakery or the owner of Fiend. And so you can kind of firsthand get insight in how do people feel about the borough outside of just voting, applicability, but just from a cleanliness perspective on voices being heard. And so that's why I wanted to apply to this, because I hear so many stories every week just through not only the 3 miles that we actually run together, but before and after on how people think about different organizations and small businesses. And it's coming from a place of a lot of positivity. They want to see the folks at Our Daily Bagel or Deli on 4th succeed. And so I think by doing so, it'd be really helpful. Yeah, you can make it a statistical measure of there should be 1,340 residents from 2020 census data, and then you add 2,000 residents, so that'll go up, plus or minus 200 folks. But it should be also hearing the voices of the residents in the ward, so making it more of a collaborative effort. And so I want to use that impact for good and apply that to the task force.
Anybody?
Evan, have you had a chance to look at Dave's redistricting?
Of course.
Okay.
I was playing around with it last night.
Awesome.
It's
Good.
great. So, I looked through the GIS mapping tools of Dave's redistricting app. You have the 2020 census data. There's 2022, with it being District 54 in conjunction with Norristown and Hickorytown. You can kind of see the breakdown by ethnicity as well. So I want to account for all of those relative percentages. But yes, I did have a chance to go through it, and
Awesome.
it was
Thank you.
exciting.
Anybody else? Okay, well, thank you for coming in, Evan.
Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate the time.
And last but not least, Jim O'Neill from Ward 5. Hi, Jim, thanks for coming in. So tell us a little bit why you want to do this job.
Well, I'm retired and I have a lot of free time now, one. And I think it would be interesting to see how the process goes.
Yeah, well, don't tell anybody you're retired because they'll fill up your time very quickly. So have you had a chance to look at the redistricting? No, yeah, when I talked to Mary, I told her that you could call me and I'd get you a copy, but you'll get it.
Yeah,
So what do you think is like the objective, to get the wards as even as possible? Do you have any particular breakdown that you would be looking for?
No, I guess you.
Yeah, I mean,
My job, I've read a lot of documents for the government over the years. So just follow the I don't apply to each, how to make the zones up, and follow the rules, and can't go wrong.
yeah, that's what we're looking for, fair districts. And there's a little bit of a leeway as far as the number, because you're not going to get exact numbers, but it's like a 10% deviation from in either direction. That's basically what we're looking for. Does anybody have any questions for Jim?
Go ahead,
You listed
Cody.
here that you've lived in the borough for over 12 years.
Yeah.
Have you always lived in the same place, or have you moved around the borough?
I got married 12, 13 years ago and moved up with my wife. She lived here for 22 years,
Nice.
same house.
Congratulations. Can you tell me a little bit then about how your experience with the other wards outside of your own?
I really didn't have any. I mean, I walk the neighborhoods, I see the different wards, different houses, different developments, different apartment complexes, but I really didn't get involved with the borough too much in the last 12 years.
You had something, Ralph?
I see you were an inspector for Chinooks.
Yeah.
That's probably makes you quite detail-oriented, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I am.
That was probably a requirement of the job, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's where I learned how to read government documents.
Yeah.
What they paid for, they wanted.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
I was a bad guy, I had to make it.
That's an interesting line of work. It was for Boeing?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, well, thanks for stepping up to the plate.
That's it.
Anybody else have any questions for Jim? Well, thanks for coming in, Jim. Thank you
Thanks.
so much.
Appreciate it.
Okay, so where are we here? So the next thing on the agenda is consider approving a block party request for the 200 block of East 8th Avenue. And they, people on East 8th Avenue do this every year. Did they do a, we didn't do a presentation on this, did we?
No, this is a recurring request.
Right,
So
so
they
we
did a
don't have to do
presentation
that.
initially, and they keep coming back. Kira Horning is the contact, and they have satisfied everything that we've requested. It's been reviewed by the directors,
Okay.
and we are recommending approval.
Right, okay. So I'm going to ask for a motion to approve a block party request for 200 block of East 8th Avenue for Saturday, September 6, 2025.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
You have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And just for the three gentlemen just interviewed, we'll let you know, there'll be a vote later on, nothing tonight. So the next thing is consider approving Resolution 2025-26, affirming the borough's commitment to fair housing. And does that resolution get read, Steph, or are we just going to?
No, the resolution is just part of an annual,
A recurring thing?
it's a recurring requirement that we, because we are a recipient of federal funds. So we have three specific requirements: publication of fair housing notice, approval of fair housing resolution, which we're doing this evening, and one activity to further fair housing. Ms. Stetler handles this entire process on behalf of the borough. And the resolution is in front of you for consideration for approval, and it's really just enforcing fair housing and protection from discrimination.
Okay, thank you. Motion, so I'm looking for a motion to approve Resolution 2025-26, affirming the borough's commitment to fair housing.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
A motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, the next thing on the agenda is consider approving Resolution 2025-27, authorizing a mutual aid agreement between the Borough of Conshohocken and the Borough of Jenkintown. Can I get?
So this is another, a resolution which is tied to an agreement, and this again is a mutual aid agreement that would allow for the sharing of equipment on either ours or Jenkintown's side, and gives them the right to do that with insurance requirements that are listed.
Right, we've entered into several of these, have we not?
Yes.
Okay.
I just have a question, just for the public. What is the process like, and why are we doing something like this, to have this mutual aid between departments?
So we have equipment that is specific to our operational needs in the Borough of Conshohocken, and other municipalities have equipment, services, personnel, et cetera, at their disposal. So not every municipality has everything that they need or may need in the future. And so a mutual aid agreement sets up both municipalities to be able to share in services and equipment and goods, and be able to basically trade for whatever we may need, either in the present day or future.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, could I get a motion to approve Resolution 2025-27, authorizing a mutual aid agreement between the Borough of Conshohocken and the Borough of Jenkintown?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Consider approving, the next thing on the agenda is consider approving the final payment for the A-field window replacement project. So we need a motion to approve the final payment for the A-field window replacement project to Joseph Delbuno, Inc. in the amount of $30,500.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Okay, the next item on the agenda is consider approving a request for operating funds and petty cash from the Friends of Conshohocken Parks. So the parks have,
Yeah, so Marissa, the treasurer from the Friends, did contact my office this week, and so they're just planning for operating needs over the course of the remainder of 2025 and 2026,
Right.
as it extends to like expediting day-to-day operations, but also having petty cash to utilize for specific events. And therefore, we are recommending on their behalf that council consider authorizing those types of expenditures up to those thresholds, so $1,500 in operating funds annually, and then $100 in petty cash to be used for events through the fiscal year, with the caveat that they would be providing you an update on those expenditures in their monthly reports.
Right. Okay.
Also,
Go ahead.
this is out of their budget. We're not adding to the budget?
No, we're not adding to the budget. It's simply from the resources that they have available to them
Yeah,
in their own accounting.
Yeah, it's their money. So could I get a motion to approve a request for operating funds and petty cash from the Friends of Conshohocken Parks for the remainder of fiscal year 2025 and fiscal year 2026?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The next thing on the agenda is consider approving 135 West First Avenue demolition escrow release number 1, final, in the amount of $4,000 plus interest. Any questions on that? Okay, could I get a motion to approve 135 West First Avenue demolition escrow release number 1 in the amount of $4,000 plus interest?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The next thing on the agenda is consider approving 140 East 6th Avenue demolition escrow release number 1, final, in the amount of $4,000 plus interest. And, so could I get a motion to approve 140 East 6th Avenue demolition escrow release number 1 in the amount of $4,000 plus interest?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. And the last escrow release is consider approving zoning escrow release for 201 West 6th Avenue and 701 Fayette Street. So I get a motion to approve zoning escrow release for 201 West 6th Avenue in the amount of $181.92 plus interest, and the zoning escrow release for 701 Fayette Street in the amount of $322.28 plus interest.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Is there any public comment on anything we've discussed here tonight or on anything else that you'd like to bring up? No? Okay. So, Mayor Aronson.
Feels like it's been a while.
Yeah.
So we've had a busy month. First off, we had a cornhole tournament put on by Team Foster to support the Hartnett family after Walt's passing, which was very successful and well attended, as you can see. So we thank the Team Foster crew and everyone that came out to support the event, to support Walt's family. We also, I can't believe it, but this Thursday is the last concert in the park. So just a big thank you to our staff that has put this on every summer. And actually, we've seen this grow every summer and now even partner with Sprinkler Nights. So it's a really great event, and we'll certainly look forward to it next summer as well. Tomorrow night, Country Strong Bingo. We're very excited, Sarah and I, to put this on every year at the VFW. The weather actually looks like it's going to be great. This was started during COVID to support our businesses. We bought gift certificates to our businesses and then gave them out as prizes. And it was so popular, we just continued it. So now we're ready to put it on. So join us. There's still spots open. It'll start at 6:30 at the VFW, and you can scan that QR code or go to conchibingo.com. Our annual shredding event is September 13th. It's going to be at the B Field. I think that should be Harry Street, actually. Right? The entrance? It is hollow, okay. And it's free. Join us. We'll be also collecting funds and donations for Colonial Neighborhood Council, our local food pantry, And rumor has it, the Friends of Conshohocken Parks will be joining to help us collect all the boxes and paper from everyone's cars. So thank you to them. And then on September 22nd, our rep, Greg Scott, and myself are having a town hall right in the EOC across the hall here in Borough Hall, 6 to 7 p.m. We're going to be focused on all the services that the Borough of Conshohocken and Greg Scott's office provide to residents, many of which I had no clue before I started this office. So it should be a really good night to learn about all the different things that we offer here and that Greg Scott offers. Greg told me to also say it's a good opportunity to tell us what else we need to include as services. So please join us. His office is asking that you RSVP to the website on the flyer or the phone number there. And then just to put a nice bookend on the trail conversation tonight, myself and our police department officers will be joining the running club on Saturday morning to talk about trail safety and to meet the runners and to make sure everyone knows each other. So we're very excited for that. That's it for me.
Ralph, you have anything for us tonight?
Yep.
Stacy?
I just want to remind everybody that school will be starting very soon, so please be mindful driving around if the kids are walking, crossing Fayette Street, and our 15-mile-per-hour area on Fayette Street. That will all be starting in, I believe, next week, so please be mindful of that.
Adrian?
Nothing.
Nothing, thank you.
Nothing for you? Just a reminder on the task force, we're still looking for somebody from wards 2 and 4. And that's it. Meeting adjourned.